This is my 25th year of teaching. Elementary students tend to be pretty open with their curiosity, and they have a willingness to pursue their curiosity that is different and less guarded than middle school students.
I've been teaching 20 years in Albuquerque Public Schools, and my whole career of 20 years has been with Albuquerque Public Schools. Largely the transition, I think, is a struggle for kids because of the organizational challenges involved with middle school, as students go from having one, maybe two teachers at the most, to trying to keep tabs on having 6 different teachers, 6 different expectations, 6 different people requiring forms and grading and everything, and coupling that with the emotional challenges that middle schoolers all go through.
This is actually my 21st year in APS. I started in 1996.
I have been teaching for over 30 years.
Just middle school and up. I try to always stay away from snotty-nosed little people running around.
When I've taught younger grades, they're a little squirrelier. They can be squirrely. I think it depends on how you prepare a class and what you're delivering to them.
I don't think millennials today do very well with, I need you to sit down and shut up and this, boom. Well, why? Because I told you so. I think millennials need you to say, I need you to sit down and shut up, and I need you to sit down and shut up because this is what we need to get done today. I'm a firm believer that poverty really impacts the way individuals perform.
I think we have a systemic poverty issue that needs to be addressed.
Poverty is, we have the highest child poverty rate.
I know kids who plan to leave school after their 8th grade year, mainly so they can earn a living, so they can begin helping to support their family, and that's a very different reason to drop out.
Having an invested adult in their life on campus. I think many of our kiddos may or may not have invested adults at home.
A strong family support system especially middle schoolers, to help them keep track of the myriad of things going on in their lives that they are very much going to struggle with.
Intrinsically, if I were a student today, what would motivate me is not necessarily having a clear direction of where I want to be, but having a clear support system with regards to how and or where I'm going to go.
I think that we have a current state education department that has no clue what it means to serve students primarily. It's entirely self-serving.
I think we need to tighten that up as a system, and I'm not throwing APS under the bus. I'm not throwing Amy Beal under the bus. I think it's a national concern. I think that's why we see the lack of performance in young people, and I truly believe that where the shift really has to come is we do need to start listening to young people a little more. What engages them, what excites them, what will get them here during the first hour, right?
So I told him, I said, what do you want to do? And he replied with, I want to be a music producer. I said, perfect. You're in my math class. So how do you think, how much capital do you need up front to start your own company? He said, I don't know, maybe 10, 15,000. I said, how about 20, 30, $45,000? I said, what are you going to do to get that? How are you going to spend your money? How are you going to figure out at what point you're going to have a return on your investment? And we built linear equations together based on him being a rap producer. Suddenly he saw the value in algebra.
And I had a student who was in the class that I took out to the bus game. He was a particularly rough character. He was definitely a gangbanger. He was the oldest one at home. He had a parent that was already in jail, and he was a tough character. He was the kind of kid that if you saw him walking down the street, you might think about crossing the street. And through the course of that year, taking him out every month, at one point we did a bird watching activity, and I borrowed binocular from the state park and taught them how to use it. And then I can remember in particular this kid running through the bosque, trying to hold up his trousers because he had the sagging pants. He was trying to hold up his pants, and he's using his binocular in one hand and trying to focus it, and his pants kept dropping, but he was so engaged and so excited to be doing this. And I was like, that's why. That's a particular reason why I take kids out and get them involved in that kind of hands-on part.
I think the way the way I would respond to that question is why? What has got you to the point to where you think this is an impossible task? I would never attack it. For a kid that's wanting to drop out of school, that's a kid that's never perceived themselves at the next level, at least within college, is my big assumption. Or some great things have happened, some major things have happened to shift what that student is thinking about or seeing.
But trying to help them to see the perspective of long-term gains when they're very short-term minded, to see that what kind of effect it's going to have for them, even within 4 or 5 years, that really education means choice. Education doesn't mean that they're doing what they're told. Education means they're learning the skills to not have to be told what to do. That education allows them flexibility, that allows them options.
I always tell kids college is way more fun than anybody will ever tell you. Everybody just wants to talk about the work, and the work is important, but I think that opportunity to explore your own identity and your own ideas and your own everything is a thrill that's very different than anything that you will have experienced in public education or any other education.
get them involved in a service project immediately, aligned with something that they loved, hopefully looking for a social justice issue that they were passionate about that they could then go serve and do some work with. Some of my most struggling students are some of the best students in service I've ever seen. That's where they shine.